Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and this is your first time tuning in, please go ahead if you like luxury content and designer items, please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. And if you are returning, welcome back. I'm so appreciative to have you here. So today I'm talking about something a bit more personal, something that I'm really excited for. I'm trying to hide the excitement, but I think it's gonna come through on this video the entire time. You might have noticed that I had something coming up if you watched my video on why I need the Gucci Jackie bag so much. So I figured if I was doing a YouTube channel and I was talking about all luxury and designer items that I really, enjoyed, got a lot of use out of, invested in, then why not just put myself 100% out there, right? So I also wanted to share with you something that I'm investing in myself, and something that I like to say I'm doing it for my birthday this weekend. It's not really, but the timing just worked out to work out that way. So it makes me feel better about it, right? But this is actually something I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I just wanted to share it with you today because honestly, I've looked up videos and I don't see many out there with the information that I was kind of looking for myself. So what am I doing? I'll just jump right into it. I am scheduled for surgery for January 20th of 2023 for BodyTite liposuction. Okay. I guess I have to just preface this with all the regular stuff that you would see. Do whatever you feel good about, do what makes you happy. Don't do it based on what other people want you to do. I agree with all of those things. As you can see, my excitement is boiling in me. And I think one of the reasons because of that is the areas that I'm doing. So let me give you a little bit of history, just so you can better understand kind of mentally where I've been at, where I'm coming from, and why I kind of wanted to make this change for myself. So back before I had a child, back when I was at my fittest and just in the best shape of my life, I've always had certain problem areas. I mean, I feel like there's not many people out there who don't have certain areas that they're a little, self-conscious about. And for me, that is my arms and my hips. And I just tend to, when I gain weight, I carry weight there. And when I lose weight, I do lose weight there, but I've just always have had slight dissatisfactions with those areas of my body. I shouldn't say that they're the only two areas though that I've been self-conscious about. So growing up, definitely a part of my body that I was self-conscious about, and especially once I got into my 20s, was my breasts. I've just always had kind of, for lack of a better word, saggier breast, larger breast. And I always, I had to wear a bra for absolutely everything. Whether it was working out or walking around the house, it was actually uncomfortable not to wear a bra because I would get sweaty underneath. The weight of them, I just didn't feel comfortable. I felt more comfortable when they were contained. And so after I had my daughter, a couple of years actually after, no, exactly almost 1 year after I had my daughter, I went in for a consultation with a plastic surgeon, an amazing plastic surgeon here in Frisco, Texas. And we did the initial consult for a mommy makeover, which would be, for me, it would be a breast lift and reduction and a tummy tuck. And when I went in for the consult and we went through both of the procedures, I won't go too far into the tummy tuck. That's not something that I'm doing tomorrow. So I don't have more I could follow up on from that standpoint, but just from my own personal experience, when we were talking about the breast reduction, he was telling me what the scar was going to be like. It was going to be an anchor scar, meaning they cut around your nipples, they cut from the nipple to your under breasts, and then they cut down under the breast line. So scarring is at a maximum with that type of surgery. So there's different levels of breast lift, and basically I got the most extensive one. I needed it. So I didn't think twice about scarring. When he's like, is that something that bothers? Nope, do it tomorrow. I'm ready. I'm fine with that. I don't care how they look. I just want to feel more comfortable. And when we did the tummy tuck, the tummy tuck leaves a scar from hip to hip. It's concealed underneath bathing suits, underneath, your undergarments and what have you. But I guess because my stomach isn't something that had bothered me to that degree my entire life, I was just more hesitant about the scar. I was more hesitant just about the overall surgery. Having a young child, I was very conscious of, and having that mom guilt of, well, this is going to put me out for a lot longer. I'm going to have to lean on my family for a lot of help, more so than I wouldn't say comfortable with, but that I felt comfortable asking for. I mean, they would have supported me, and my family's fantastic. They always support me in what I want to do and things that they know are going to make me happy. But it's just not something, mentally inside me, it was something I was struggling with. So at the time, I had decided to just move forward with the breast lift and reduction. It was the best decision. It was the best thing I've ever done for myself. I have been thrilled from day one. Now, I know they say you go in and you do something like this and, right off the bat, you may think, oh my gosh, what have I done? I mean, I came out that day like, I'm so happy. I'm so excited through all the scarring. I'm a full 2 years out of surgery. I'm about 2 years and a month. Actually, yeah, I'm about 2 years and a month out of surgery now. I still have some discoloration in my scars. I'm still waiting for them to completely fade, but the scarring doesn't bother me one bit. Not one bit. I would do it again and again and again and again for these results and for how I feel now. And I'm just so much more comfortable in my body. So that said, because my hips and my arms have always been a thing, and now my stomach too, after having a child, it changes, and I'm okay with the changes. I'm actually at a point in my life too where I feel fairly confident in my body and myself. I'm not overly unhappy about it. It's just a change that I'd really like to invest in. And one of the reasons for that too is, for me personally, the goal and what I'm looking to achieve is just to feel more comfortable in my clothes. I'm not looking to drop any sizes. I'm not looking to, and I might, but that's not what I'm kind of in it for. I'm not looking at it as a weight loss solution. Obviously, that's not what lipo's for. It's more for contouring. I will say one thing on this that bothers me. If you go on almost all of the websites, all of the different doctors, it kind of states there, or if you go into a consultation, they'll kind of say, oh, are you at your ideal weight or within 10 pounds? And I kind of laugh at that question. I remember I took it very seriously the first time, and I'm like, I am not at my ideal weight. And I'm thinking, my ideal weight is probably 30 pounds less than where I'm at. But I was like, you know what? I'm at a healthy weight. I take really good care of myself. I eat really well. I also enjoy cheese and wine in moderation, and bread, love it. Avocado toast with sourdough, but I don't overdo it. And I think as I've gotten older, and especially after I had my daughter, I really learned how to balance myself and moderate what I'm eating to make sure that I'm getting just a very well-balanced nutrition in my daily intake. So I feel that I'm healthy. I feel that I'm at something that I can easily maintain forever. Is it ideal? No. Am I planning on losing 20 pounds and cutting out all these additional things that I love to be able to do so? No. Could I lose 10 pounds and just be a little bit healthier? Sure. But that's kind of more within the range that they're looking for. So I feel really comfortable with that. So instead of saying are you at your ideal weight or close to it? I would probably urge you, if you're not, to still have a consultation and go in and say, this is where I'm comfortable with my body, and this is where I plan on being, and see how that conversation goes, because ideal is so subjective. So I think it's so hard to say that you're at your ideal weight. I think maybe it's not. Maybe there's people who really are super confident at exactly where they are, but I think it's just hard to ask someone, are you ideal? It's just, no, I would change these couple things. Am I super happy with myself? Yes. Am I very confident? Absolutely. But if you're gonna say my ideal world, what would I pick and choose? Well, I'd have Victoria's Secret body, but that's just not in the cards, and that's fine. I love the body I have. I don't want to sound like redundant or anything like that. You've probably seen other people say this. I've had a child. I'm proud of my body. I actually am pretty happy with how I look. It's just, I like clothes a lot. I like fashion a lot, and I just want to feel like it's easier to wear things. I don't want to wear Spanx every time I wear a dress. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at. Do I have to? No. Am I doing it for anyone else? No. It's just, it's what makes me feel comfortable walking around. And that's what's really important when you're looking into any kind of plastic surgery. But anyways, I digress and go off the topic. So I went back to that same plastic surgeon for the consultation for a potential tummy tuck. After the point, I had realized I was just so blown away and happy with my reduction that I really wanted to, continue on that if that was going to kind of just make me feel like super comfortable in my own skin. So I went to the consultation. We talked about the procedure, but there were two things that I left with. One, for some reason, I couldn't get over that scar. I think part of that also has to do with I had ACL surgery about 1.5 years ago. I had never had any surgeries before my breast reduction. So within a few short years, I had my breast reduction, I had my ACL surgery. So to think of putting another big scar on my body in such a short time period, I think was kind of holding me up a bit on that. As well, like I said before, I still wasn't super comfortable with the recovery period. My daughter is a little older. It's, a little less of needing to carry her and do things like that now. But at the same time, that still kind of played a small factor in it. And then lastly, the price had gone up quite a bit, quite substantially. And basically, when I was quoted for both a couple of years back, it was now more than it would cost to do both of them for just the tummy tuck. And from what I had already spent on the breast reduction, it was a huge investment. Not one that I wouldn't have done, but it was one that made me pause and think I need to look into all of my options. So I started doing some research, and that's when I found BodyTite. So if anyone out there is not familiar with it, like I wasn't about 6 months ago, what it is it's liposuction, and it uses radio frequency or energy where, and I don't know exactly how this technology works, but when they do the liposuction, it uses heat, and the heat actually is able to tighten your skin. So in the past, if you've gotten liposuction, it's really just for contouring. And if you have any extra skin, you need to get, for example, for the abdomen, a tummy tuck or a body lift or whatever it might be. So with BodyTite, if you have some loose skin, but it's not too extreme, another option could be to try BodyTite. So I found another surgeon who actually lives in the same neighborhood as I do. And I saw his work online, and I think one thing that I would recommend if you are interested or looking into plastic surgery or looking just for a doctor, in my personal experience, I feel like different doctors just have different aesthetics. So I based the surgeons I reached out to on whose work I consistently like the best. So not like one amazing case. I just love the shape that this particular surgeon gave to so many women who underwent this same procedure. And I think looking at the overall picture rather than one picture and saying, that's what I want, this is what I want to come out looking like, I think that's going to give you a more realistic expectation, going into surgery and just kind of thinking of what your own personal results would be. So I went in for a consult with this surgeon, and we talked about, you know, BodyTite for my arms and for my abdomen and for my flanks. And he was like, for your arms, I think you are an absolutely perfect candidate for this procedure. He's like, for your flanks, perfect. For your abdomen, he's like, you do have a little bit of dimpling in your skin, and I do. It's been stretched, baby. So he's like, the thing is, he's like, your skin will retract and it will tighten, but if you want that super smooth, fit, toned, kind of perfect stomach, you know, you'll have to undergo a tummy tuck in order to achieve that. He's like, now with the BodyTite, it's going to tighten the skin. It's going to give you a great silhouette in clothing. Everything's going to fit better and feel more comfortable, but the skin could still have some laxity to it. So he's like, just be mindful of that. And at the end of the day, so some people might say, if you're going to spend the money, spend it on the best results. I totally get that standpoint. But for me, my results are based on my own comfort. I'm not trying to be a bikini model. I'm not trying to look like I have a perfect stomach. In all honesty, I just feel like I'd have to do more work too if I did that, because I don't think the rest of my body has that perfectly smooth look to it. I think it looks great. I think it looks like a woman's body who's in shape and takes care of herself. But I don't think it's, you know, if you give me the stomach of like an 18-year-old, the rest of my body is still, you know, celebrating my last birthday in my 30s. So I just, for me, I was like, no, absolutely 100%. I'd like to try the BodyTite. Because he's like, you're really on the fence. He's like, it will help you. You will feel really great. And he's like, by the way, there is a chance that that doesn't happen. It could completely tighten, be super smooth and perfect. He's like, but I just want to set the right expectations with you, because yeah, it might not be. And it wouldn't surprise me if it isn't. And I thought that's fair. I love that he said that. I love that he was so open and transparent about that, just because I feel like it really just gave me the information that I needed to make a choice and to move forward. So my last question to him was, okay, well, let's say I do this and the skin's still hanging, or it has that laxity to it, and it's something that bothers me. Could I potentially do something in the future to alter that? And he said, yes. He's like, but I will tell you that if you did a tummy tuck now, you won't have any scar tissue. We'll be able to get it exactly as we want it. Yes, there are things that if it's really bad, we could always do to help it. But it's just never going to give you that same look as if you went in fresh and just went with the tummy tuck look. So that's another thing that you might be thinking of that was in the back of my mind. But ultimately at the end of the day, I don't need that super smooth, perfect stomach. I just want my clothes to fit better and not to feel like I'm bulging at the hips, which is how I feel like is kind of my silhouette. So it's fine. And you know, I just have to say this, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just how comfortable it makes me in my clothes. Like, I don't see other people and pick that apart. I don't see myself actually and pick that apart. It is literally about my own comfort, and confidence in those things. So, you know, you just have to really look at what's important to you, what you're trying to achieve, and then make the best assessment based on your life, your lifestyle, the recovery, your goals, what you're looking for. And then that's the best way to kind of, you know, just weigh out the cost and recovery and risks versus the results. So this was just the way for me to go. Really excited about it, booked it. And then I'm releasing this video tomorrow, and I will actually be either in or just coming out of surgery when this comes out. So excited. So a couple things that I just wasn't aware, or I shouldn't say wasn't aware of. Like I said, I've had a few surgeries now, but I've never done liposuction before. So a couple things, and if it's something that you're considering or something that you're just interested in learning what goes into it and what the prep is and what the beforehand is, I just wanted to share it in a video. Also, I will be doing probably either a 1 or 2 week update. In all honesty, I can't commit. It'll just depend on how I'm feeling on at that point. I'll do one at 3 months and I'll do one at 6 months. The other thing I would mention about BodyTite too, your silhouette changes immediately. You do have swelling, especially with the type that I'm doing. I'm going to have an abdominal binder, so I'm going to have a bit of swelling in my hips because that's where the fluid is going to be pushed to. So that might not look too different at the beginning. They fully told me this and said don't stress, and I won't. And then swelling, from what I understand and what I've read, I've heard the first few weeks is kind of the worst, and then it's pretty much goes down after 6 weeks. Most of it has gone down. By 3 months, you're pretty much 90% of the way there, and then by 6 months, you should be all of the way there in terms of just the swelling. In terms of the actual skin tightening, that takes 6 months. That will continue. I think she said 6 to 9 months. Is the period that your skin will continue to tighten. So when I first come out, my skin's going to be what it would be if I imagine, actually, don't quote me on this, but I imagine what it would be whether it was BodyTite or just regular liposuction. Like I don't think it changes all that drastically, you know, the moment you're out of surgery. And then over the coming months is when the skin tightens. And by the time that you're 6 to 9 months out, that's when you see your final result. So I will share my updates on how I'm feeling, what I'm dealing with in recovery. And then at the end, I'm not going to share before photos today. I took some in a dress that I really would love to just feel more confident and comfortable in. So we'll see. When I get to the end, I'll take pictures in that dress again and we can compare them and see how it all worked out. But not for today. For today, I'm just zen. So what goes into the beforehand? So they do recommend that you start, they provided me with arnica tablets. So in case you're not familiar, arnica is a supplement that helps with bruising and swelling. So I started those a day ago, taking those 2 days before surgery. They recommend taking them 2 to 3 days. They also recommend taking a stool softener because of the pain medications that they'll have you on, as well as after surgery, you're just not moving around like you typically move around. So it just kind of slows everything down. So this typically helps with that. So I started that yesterday as well. And then I have a few things that I'm just going to show you today, just so you know kind of like what the prep is on going into this. I'm going to have a few small incisions, probably just 360 around that underwear line, for my abdomen and my flanks. And then I will also have, I believe, sometimes it depends, I may have 2 incisions right under my breast. And then for my arms, I will have one at my elbow and my armpit. So with those incisions too, there is a little bit of leakage and draining over the first 24 to 48 hours. So I had already gotten, you know, just those sterile pads that I could put over those areas to make sure that I'm just keeping the sites, you know, covered, yet breathable. But then also they're going to wrap me up in a binder, and then I come home and then I'm like that until I can shower, and showering is about 48 hours after surgery, so not too bad. They say have someone with you the first time you shower because you're going to feel a little woozy. So there's that to be mindful of. I am actually taking off of work tomorrow and Monday, so I'm giving myself a 4-day weekend. I do have the luxury that I work on 100% remote. So when I return to work Tuesday, it's not like I have to get to an office and be walking around all day. I do have a desk job, so you know, I talked to my doctor about that. He's like, I think you'll be fine. In all honesty too, I think about my breast reduction and lift, and you know, I recovered fairly well and quickly from that. Even my ACL surgery, I recovered pretty quickly from. So I feel pretty confident that this isn't quite as invasive as either of those. And taking off that period of time is something I feel comfortable with. Once you take your first shower, after that, you have to wear surgical grade compression garments. For the abdomen, it is for 6 weeks. For my arms, it is for 3 weeks. So I'm gonna show you those because those are interesting. This is something, I knew I would have to wear some kind of compression garment for the swelling. I just didn't exactly realize. To be honest, I didn't realize it was surgical grade. I was asking her, I was like, oh, I have Spanx. And she's like, yeah, well, you'll wanna transition into those, but for the time being, you'll wanna get some surgical grade compression garments. And I was like, ah, okay. So the first one for I'll show you my arms first. So here's just the brand that I ended up getting on Amazon. You want to go to your size chart and actually do measurements, but what it looks like is it just slips into your arms. Here's the back, 2 arms here. The one recommendation she did give me for doing my arms is have something that comes past your elbow so that you don't like hold all the swelling. It's nice and smooth past the elbow point. So that's for that. And then for my abdomen, I bought these shorts. They pull up over the abdomen. And the reason why you see closed bags and open bags is I got 2 of each. I have to be wearing these 24/7, if you could see it. They want you wearing these while you're sleeping, while you're doing anything for 6 weeks. So I needed 2 pairs. One so that when one pair was getting cleaned and laundered, I could be wearing the other pair. So it looks like I'll be doing a lot of laundry over the next 6 weeks, which isn't anything new because, again, 3-year-old. So yeah, what else? Pre-surgery, I go in tomorrow morning. I get to the surgical center an hour and a half before my scheduled surgery time. I have 2 pills that the doctor prescribed me. It's only 1 pill of each that I have to take with a small sip of water the morning of surgery. I'm not allowed to eat or drink anything besides that small sip of water after midnight tonight. And the other thing that I will say, and something that I learned, couple tips and things that the nurse shared with me as well. Eating a high protein diet, which makes sense, before and after surgery, helps with healing. So I've been focusing just a lot on my protein intake. Also personally, and no one told me this, I just tend to eat a lower carb diet. I'm not against carbs, I love them. I just try to balance how many I'm eating per day and making sure that they're, as much as I can, that they're not processed carbs. And carbs, I mean, they're called carbohydrates for a reason. They make you retain water. So I was just thinking, if they're gonna stick something in me and suck out the fat, I want it to be fat, not water. So I've just been going very easy on my carbs the last few days and keeping an eye on those to really just flush out water weight so they can focus on getting as much of the fat out as possible. Again, I don't know really what's different. That's all my thinking in my head. I didn't research that or look that up anywhere or know if that makes any difference whatsoever. I do like to do protein shakes, especially when I'm trying to watch my protein intake, just because it's so convenient and easy and I don't have to think about it, and it just goes in the blender and then I take it in. And one thing that my nurse mentioned to me was actually that pineapple is a fantastic thing to be eating for bruising. Apparently it's really good when it comes to bruising. So leading up to the surgery, I've been doing protein shakes daily with pineapple, and I plan to continue that after the surgery for at least 2 weeks. And I've been supplementing my lunch with a protein shake, and then just really focusing on trying to eat eggs and avocados, lean meats, healthy vegetables. For my carbs, more leaning on potatoes and more of those starchy vegetables, although I'm trying to just keep an eye on what I'm eating. I'm not saying no to anything. Just watching it and just trying to eat as clean as possible. I'd say that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to do, is just eat as clean as possible, because it helps with healing. And I just feel like my body will be in the best state for surgery and recovery if I'm not putting so much processed stuff into my body. Like I said, I try not to normally on a regular basis, but I'm just being extra conscious of that this week. They say not to drink alcohol, you know, right before surgery. I stopped like a week and a half ago. No, it's like a week. I had like wine last Friday. So, but then I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'll just drink my tea. So not something that you need to do, just something that I did, and that I'm conscious of. And other than that, I really think that's most of the prep work that I've done for this. So my expectations for after surgery is I'm going to get picked up and I'm going to do as much walking around as I feel comfortable with. And I'm also just going to rest and relax and just, you know, enjoy a day in bed because I haven't done that in a while. So that's it. But I just wanted to kind of share with you where I was at, why I decided to make this choice, what my personal goals were in doing this, just in case, you know, someone out there might be watching, thinking about doing the same or curious about it, or just wondering about what to look for when looking for doctors. And that was all things that I did personally. Of course, anything that I said here, I am not a doctor. I am not certified. Many doctors might give you different instructions. So please always, no matter what you do, listen to your doctor, work with them to make sure you're doing everything that you need to do. I just wanted to share some of the things that I've been told to do for me personally, just so that if you had any questions or were wondering what you could expect going into it or shortly after, I could share that with you. So that's it. So I will get a few videos done so that I can put out some content while I'm recovering next week. Hopefully I'll be up back and at it next week. And the last thing that I would ask is please, if you want to send your wishes and all good thoughts and good vibes, please comment. I would love to read them. Honestly, I've enjoyed so much interacting with all of you. So I'd love to get some comments after surgery tomorrow, and it would just be awesome. On the flip side, if you do not have something nice or supportive to say, this really isn't the vibe that I want going on with this community here. So if there is something that seems inappropriate or just seems, you know, not supportive or whatnot, I'll probably end up deleting it. So just wanted to say that outright. Of course, freedom of speech, say what you want to, but freedom to delete too. So other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. But I will talk to you all when I'm feeling a bit more up to it. All right, bye guys.